really want this to happen. But it's not. Why? In today's episode, we're going to talk about desire. Well, what's going on, all you beautiful 22 subscribers with a heart of gold, with a life of love, with a potential that is beyond this imagination. I love you guys and welcome back to another episode of The Unhindered You. We're talking about desire today. And most importantly, the reality of our desires are probably coming from a place of lack. So let's begin with the fact that there's things in our life that we want. We want a new job. We want more money. We want a spouse. We want good friendships. We want a new car. We want that fancy car. We want to travel the world. We want to do great and wonderful things. We want, like I got a vision board right here, the things that I want to see in my life. I want to be on the beach. I want to go to Egypt. I want to do all these things. I want to race a Porsche around a track. I want to have an amazing house one day and all these things, right? These things are desires. And these things are wants. And there is a point in my life, I remember there was a point that something clicked in me that I was like, wait a minute. If Jesus was saying, believe that you've received what you've asked for and it's yours, it's granted, right? It's granted to you. Have faith in God. And I read that and I was on board with it for a long time and I just didn't really understand it because it was like, well, then why is so many people consistently praying for the same thing over and over and over again, and these people are teaching us how to pray, but they're not seeing stuff happen in their life? And I was like, well, I don't want to pray if it's not going to be in faith. And and I'm going to be really honest. I mean, if you grew up in the church, I am sure you were told never tell somebody they don't have enough faith. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's a load of bull crap. Because in all reality, our life, everything that we see in our life is a direct reflection of our thoughts. So we have a ton of faith because we're seeing things happen in our life that we have created. And so we have faith. We have enough faith. But the fact is we're not putting our faith in the right things. And the biggest thing that I believe that is hindering our walk in life, and the reason we don't see a thriving life in front of us, is the fact that all we are doing is desiring consistently all day, every day, and never believing that we've already received what we've asked for. And that blows my mind. Like I started into a new company recently, and this new company's 100% commission. So in my line of work, like I have to either go find customers, I have to go find clients, I have to go find I'm kind of a salesman, right? And I'm helping people along the way, right? So it's not just I'm going to go get sales. Like there's legitimate people that have damage inside their home that they need help with, and I'm there to be a liaison for them to their insurance company to help them get the right coverage that they need. Because let's be honest, insurance companies are the mafia. If you deal with them enough, you understand that. But there is a part of me that I'm like, oh man, I really want to leave this other job. I really want to get into this new position. And I really, really, really want to be super successful and really want to go after it and all these things. And it's been kind of like a 3-week transition so far. And it was just today I was able to get forms to go and actually start, maybe do an inspection for this new company. And I actually did my first inspection with this new company today. And I went like the past 3 weeks, not really with a lot of work. And I was like, God, I'm just sitting here. Like, I just want to get out there and run with this thing. And I felt like I had to battle a lot throughout my day, and on the basis that I wasn't in the place of just rest, knowing that this future that I have partnered with God with, that I have partnered in my imagination with, that I have believed I've received already, I'm battling that on a daily basis with desire. Okay? And let me put that into perspective. So true faith says it sees it for the first time. Like it sees this vision for the first time for your life. Let's say a new job. And let's say you write out everything you want in your new job because you've never done this before. You write it all out and you were like, oh yeah, okay, I would like this, travel, a lot of money, they pay for my gas, they give me a car, I 10x my money, like, all these things, right? Boom, 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 okay? Because these are things that you could see your new lifestyle, and it would definitely benefit your new lifestyle, right? And so you just write it out. When you see it, if you can picture it in your mind, right? That's what we want to do. We want to picture it in our mind. And when you feel the emotions, as if you're living it in that moment through your imagination, because here's the thing. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's happening in the natural and what's happening in here. So when you picture something in here or you experience it out here, you experience emotions. You experience it through emotions, right? Like if you were in trauma, you would experience fear or anger or bitterness. Or if you met your wife and you got married, let's say the day you got married, you feel abundance of love, you feel abundance of joy, or the first time you have a kid, which I haven't had yet, it's on its way, I'm sure, I'm believing for it, I've seen it, it's done. When you experience these emotions, you feel the emotions through your body, like you legitimately feel it in your body, right? I'm sure right now you can picture in your mind a happy moment in your life, and it would bring joy up. You would feel the joy. That's the same thing when you've written out your job that you want, right, or whatever it may be, and you see it in your mind. If you can experience the emotions from that, that's how you bring it to the now. Now, the key to that is when I say real faith, it's saying when you've experienced that, when you've felt it emotionally, real faith says it's done. I don't need it. I don't even need to look at it anymore because it has to come to me. Jesus said, "Believe that you've received what you asked for, and it's granted to you." I was on top of a mountain camping a few months ago, and I was just sitting there overlooking the town, and the verse, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," came to my mind, and I just started to process that, and I was like, the reality of that is when we aren't living in lack, we have everything we ever need. Like, we're divine beings created in the image of God, learning to align our minds with the mind of Christ, which is just an elevated, it's a pure love, it's a pure, it's a mindset of purity. It's a mindset that I have no wrongs in me. Like, nothing I ever did in the past affects me anymore. I'm not running by the past programming. I'm not experiencing lack. I am that I am, right? Like, in that moment. And I'm sure some of you guys have experienced this, like I have, like right before you wake up in the morning, right before your mind and body comes into the physical realm and it starts to experience all this. You're like right there in like that edge of sleep versus awake, and you experience this beauty of like your true self. And I've experienced that several times recently. It was very amazing. It's very beautiful. I've experienced, and I'll be honest, I've experienced these things, these experiences, smoking marijuana or doing ecstasy too, and it was just a very interesting, like those euphoric, those blissful moments where I truly feel like I'm a pure being, like I'm truly feeling like I'm a righteous, holy person with no fault. And that's who we truly are. That's who we were truly created to be, is these beautiful and wonderful godly beings, and that live a life of love and that don't have any lack, like full of abundance, and abundant everywhere, not just financially, right? And this beautiful life that we're created to live. So this Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So it's like in these moments where I have everything pertaining to life and godliness. So I have all the love I've ever need. I have all the money I could ever need. I could have all the relationships I could ever need. I have or ever want. Like that's the thing. Like if you can, like right now in your mind, let's say whatever you feel lack in, right? And your desire is coming from that. There's no guilt in that. It's just your lack could be showing you what you already have. And so when you say, when you start to desire and you're wanting, it's like, oh man, I would love new friends. Well, that's the beauty of that. Let that awareness come into that moment and say, wow, I actually already have a ton of friends, or all the friends that I could ever need. And you might not see them in the natural. Because here's the thing is, you have to get to the place where you already receive it. Where you've already received it. And not live from that place of lack. And because of that alignment, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, because of the emotions, right? Because of that alignment, it has to happen. It is granted to you. That's faith. That's where we can step in and say, I have it. And I'm going to align myself with it. I'm going to do everything I can to align myself with what I already have, what has already been destined for me, which is everything. Okay, and now I'm sure some of you might be saying, well, you shouldn't be taking that for granted, right? Because what about murder? What about rape? What about stealing and all these things? Well, dude, it's obvious. You just don't go murder somebody. You don't go steal something. Why would you go steal something if you know you already have it? That's what's crazy, right? You're stealing because you don't believe you have something. And you're living from a poverty mindset. Don't be envious over other people. Don't compare yourself to others, because you are one with them. They are one with you. What they have the opportunity to have, so do you. Like, that's the beauty, right? Like, one of the biggest things is don't covet somebody's wife. Bro, chicks, sisses, brothers, like, when you see somebody with an absolutely amazing spouse, and you just think to yourself, man, I would love that. You have it. Believe that you've received what you've asked for, and it's granted. Now, a lot of us are very impatient. A lot of us are just downright selfish at times because we believe we need to have it over that person, and it's just like, well, just back up. If you believe that you've received what you've asked for and it's granted you, then you truly believe that it's going to come about in the best way for you. Because let's say you want to be wealthy. Well, and you believe that you've already received wealth. You already received your abundance. And you step into that. You feel it emotionally. You can see it. You can close your eyes and you know exactly what it looks like. And you can experience those emotions right away because you're already experienced it. And you already believe it's in you. and in through your life. When you can be at that place, there's no reason to step away and covet somebody's wife or go steal something or do anything that is out of that nature or even live from a poverty mindset, because it's like, no, it's I've transformed into a new mind. And therefore my personality has changed. Therefore my behaviors have changed. Therefore I have better relationships. I talk differently. I mean, there's just, the list goes on, because you've spent time believing in something that is greater than your personal reality now, and therefore your mind has changed to align itself through its thoughts to that new future that you say, God, I believe you will bring this about in the best way for me, and therefore I know that there's things in my life that are being changed because of that, and therefore I know I won't do something in the future that will hinder that, because I have been aligning myself with that new future. Not based on my past. See, this is the thing. If it was based on our past, we'd all be poor, we'd all be broke. I mean, let me backtrack. Not all of us would be poor. Not all of us would be broke. Because a lot of people that are born into wealthy families, they understand wealth. Especially if they were raised to understand wealth. And so they'll a lot of times they won't go broke, but they'll be sometimes some of the silliest and less educated people, because that's all they know, and they might not have applied themselves in different areas that, a lot of us, I know a lot of people that I know that grew up poor, they work hard and go through school to get an education, and they have this great education and no opportunities. And so you got this person that doesn't like school, that doesn't go to school, has tons of opportunities, lives a wealthy life, creates successful businesses, changes the world in different ways through whatever. And then you got a lot of people that have been grew up poor, and they have to work hard through their life, pushing their body through space and time to get to a desired place. And it's tough, and I get that. So in saying all that, desire should be a one and done thing. It's like I see it. It's like, okay, let me give an example here. I don't know how to play guitar, okay? Let's say I didn't even own this guitar, but I wanted a guitar because I wanted to learn to play the guitar, because I see myself up on stage playing a guitar in front of a crowd. And I could even see myself doing that right now, right? So let's say I didn't have a guitar. So the end result would be playing the guitar and ending on a stroke, and the entire crowd standing up and giving a standing ovation. But I don't even own a guitar yet, right? And if that was a desire of mine to see that, if I can picture that and emotionally feel it and truly believe it, leave it and let it go and say, it's done. I have already experienced that, and now I know it has to come to pass. That guitar has to come to you. That guitar will be placed in your hands. Your fingers will know how to play, and they'll move in the right directions. They'll start to build calluses supernaturally. You will have already learned a discipline in your mind to play that to a standard that is professional. All because you had an intent in your mind for an end result. You saw it, you felt it, and it was done. And you left it alone. You had faith God was going to bring it to you in the best way for you. And actually, that's actually kind of how this happened. I didn't see myself on stage, but I really wanted a guitar. And I remember my friend Elizabeth DeMarco had this guitar, and I would go over to her house, and I'd play her this guitar and her ukulele. And and I remember I just loved this guitar, and I wasn't even a big guitar player. I was a ukulele player. And I remember she moved out, and I remember getting the guitar. And her husband plays guitars and stuff, had tons of guitars. And I remember, I think I had a dream or something that it was like I got a guitar or something, or a ton of people started giving me encouraging words like randomly saying, "Hey, do you play guitar? You should, and you should pick it up." And I was like, "Okay, all right, whatever you do." And I didn't. It just wasn't a big thing. But in my back of my mind, I was like, "Well, I don't even own a guitar." And I remember going. I have this little backpacker actually, but it's so confusing to play. But anyways, or hard to play. And I remember I went and saw my friend up in New Jersey, and she's like, "Oh, I got that guitar. Do you want it?" And I remember just being like, I remember telling my wife like a few days before, like, "I think I'm gonna get a guitar soon," and and it wasn't like a few days later, and she's like, "Hey, you want this guitar?" And so it was like that's how that kind of stuff happens. I was just like, "Yeah, I got it. I got one. You know, it's awesome." And I saw myself with it, and it just happened to happen in the form of a dream, but it still happened, and there it is. So, what do you want right now? Like, look at your life, write down what you would like it to look like, take time, and just picture it in your imagination. And when you picture it in your imagination, feel it emotionally. Will it bring you joy? Would it bring you rest? Would it bring you excitement? Would it bring you inspiration? Would you feel unlimited? Would you feel full of love? Would you feel more love for others? Would you feel a rush of adrenaline because you're racing a Porsche around a track, right? Like, would you be in awe seeing the pyramids in Egypt? Would you, whatever it is, write it down, experience that emotion, and when you're done experiencing it, spend time. Just put on some soft music, get away from everybody. You know, that was the whole point of going into the closet, right? Into a closed room, or you know, go up on the top of a mountain where there's no echo, there's no distractions, right? Now I know those have all separate meanings, and I get it, but it's the point that when we have no distraction, and we can truly see it and feel it, and then you let the desire go, because it has to come to you with what you have aligned yourself with. And I kind of want to end on this. This is in the chapter of desire in the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. Desire as an obstacle. There is often a lack of understanding of the function of wanting and desire. The main illusion is seen in the statement, "The only way that I'll get what I want is by desiring it. If I let go of my desire, then I won't let go of what I want." Actually, the opposite is true. Desire, especially strong desire, e.g. cravingness, frequently blocks our getting what we want. Why is this so? Actually, the way something comes into our life is because we have chosen it. It was the result of our intention. We made a decision for it. It has come into our life in spite of desire. Lust is a good form of that. And so I leave you with love, knowing that you have everything you've ever wanted or desired. You have everything pertaining to life and godliness. You are a divine being created in the image of the creator of the universe. Like, that is incredible. And you have power over your mind when you come into awareness of your desires. So, I love you guys. I hope this helps. I hope you put some comments down below. I hope I hear from you guys. I hope you share this with a ton of people. I hope hope this reaches the world, right? Because it's just love. I love you guys. You're amazing. And I can't wait to see what this has for this year. So I bless y'all. Have a great, wonderful day.